All right, so it was time to say goodbye to the Highlander. We got the keys to something new. Well, not new, but new to me new. Look at this thing. I love these trucks. It's a 1998 GMC Sierra. They're just robust trucks. This one's actually in pretty good shape. It does have rust kind of in the cab corners, kind of in the common spots. But overall, for being an Alberta truck, this truck is actually in really good shape. So these two trucks, they are 10 years apart exactly. And this truck is actually more of a rust bucket than this one is. Common, it suffers from being an old Chevy. Does have the third door, and the interior is not in too bad a shape. Like, it does have a few things here and there that it does need, but overall, for what I paid for it, it's a good truck. There's something so nostalgic about these old trucks. I grew up basically in a 98, which is the same year as this. Different color interior, but overall, basically the same truck. That one went, I think, 700,000 kilometers or 750,000 before it died. And the only reason it died is because it needed a fuel pump. And at the time, this was like quite a while ago, I wasn't very mechanically inclined. It was my dad's truck that he gave to my sister. And for us to bring it to the shop was, I think, like $1,100 job or $1,000 job or something along those lines. I don't really remember. But that was the reason we let that truck die. But with the mechanical knowledge I have now, I would have never let that happen. Now, I actually had a 1993 Silverado. So same body, same square body on it, but it had the square interior. So this is kind of the more, I guess you'd call it the updated, more round interior, but still the same truck. Like that's why I get such a nostalgic feeling when I hop into this truck. I owned one, my dad owned one. We know between the two of us, we know these trucks inside and out. So let's start by firing it up, and we'll bring it over to the garage back there, and we'll have a look at it and see what makes these trucks so robust, and of course see what it needs as well. So let's hear the old girl start up. Just like it was brand new. I love it. So what's going on in here? No check engine light. Right there. ABS lights on. Again, old Chevy problems. I am going to borrow a reader and figure out what's throwing the code. It's likely a sensor. That's usually what it is. But let's bring it around to the garage and let's see what else it needs. So right away here, I noticed this actually right away when I did my initial test drive, and let me show you here. I need shocks. Up good, and let's see what's happening. So actually the motor is, for the most part, pretty clean. This is something I caught right away because I know it's common. It's right down in here. Power, it's pretty dark. Power steering line leaking. Same thing happened in my 93. Not super uncommon. And like I said, for the most part, this truck just suffers from being an old Chevy. It's doing it. All right. That looks like all the normal stuff. Diff seal's leaking. So that's more of a, I'll just keep it full of fluid. There is wet fluid there for sure, but it's not, I wouldn't say critical at this time. A lot of this is from the power steering hoses. It has been leaking for sure. Torsion bushings could probably be done. They're cracked. Not too bad in here. All my ball joints are tight, tie rods are tight. I bet it's black. Yeah, not great.
Oh, look at that. Let's see it from here.
Yeah. Not great, but overall not too bad on this side. Even on the frame, there's not as much rust as I was kind of expecting to see. Just the regular surface rust. Ball joints have been done before, for sure, because these are actually riveted in from the factory.
Oh, they are. Those
so
are
these,
the ones that they grumble about.
Yeah, so because you actually have to drill out. You either have to replace the whole control arm, or you have to grind out the rivets. Yeah. So these ones have been done before for sure, but there's. I think I can't remember on the bottom if you have to grind them out or not. I know the top ones for sure. So this ball joint on the bottom's been leaking grease, but it's still tight, so it's not a concern for me right now. Even got the old guy out here working on the truck. This is the worst I've probably ever seen one of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a brake flush here. Not what I didn't expect to see. I kind of expected that. If I could get it. Master cylinder, reservoir, brake reservoir all cleaned up here. And I got way too much of this stuff, so we're gonna use her up. Nice, nice, nice. I don't mind overfilling it right now because I know I'm gonna lose a whole bunch. Got the brand new fluid in there. Looks not so bad, not so bad. Now we're gonna go and look back here. So we got the rear being bled out. I already did that one, starting at the furthest away from the master cylinder and working away up to the closest. So obviously I still got to do the front ones, but this one is on the way. After I do both the front ones as well, which will only take another few minutes, I'm going to do the little known ABS bleed. Giving the brakes the old flush. We have this pulse board out for our wipers because they weren't working properly, and this resistor right here, or diode or whatever the hell it is, was actually melted out, and this one contact was sitting all the way down here because of GM's poor soldering skills. So we got it soldered back up into the proper contact now, so we're going to throw this in and see if our wipers are working again properly. So far we fixed everything on this truck for a total of $0. Brakes flushed, working a lot better. Got the wipers working now, and when I happen to open up in here, find the old wheel sensors disconnected, and I got nothing to lose on it. The harness has definitely been repaired before, but I've got nothing to lose on it, so I'm going to peel it back, and I'm going to see if I can get that ABS light to go away while we're in here.